Hey, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And we're the Rambling Reviewers.
And today we're looking at how to fix it, Attack on Titan, or how to expand it, really, because it's not done yet. Now, I have to tell you my experience with this. I have seen the first season of the anime.
On Netflix.
Watch
it on Netflix. You can see it on streaming.
Aha.
I'm not being paid for this, I swear.
I know the manga continues beyond that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to ignore the manga because I don't know what they've mentioned, and no matter whatever they've mentioned probably is going to get in the way of my tricky plans. So I just came up with, okay, what would I do to bring this story all the way through, to find a conclusion, to make it all work, to explain all the mysteries, which as I understand it, and you've read the manga, so you may, feel the need to interrupt or something, but as I understand it,
don't I feel the need to interrupt?
It's true. As I understand it, a lot of things still haven't been explained, even up through June 16th. 2014.
Yeah, no. The most recent volume that was just released in English made things actually more confusing.
Wow. There you go. Okay.
So fuck whoever creates this thing. Stop making it confusing, damn it. Pick a mystery and finish it.
Yeah, that's
Scooby-Doo establishes this. They don't start like 6 different mysteries.
Yeah, it worked for Scooby-Doo. I love the idea.
I will ever say anything positive about Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
I do not like Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo is like when your brain is really tired, but not that you want to go to sleep. It's just like, I want to watch something very simple. Scooby-Doo. That's the role, which is fine. Every show has a different role. So I said in our earlier review of Attack on Titan, the 3 key things are bleakness, badassery, and mystery. I'm going to continue through and eventually solve the mystery, because mysteries ought to be solved, at least most of them. But I'm going to try and keep these themes as we go. So, it used to be, we'll go into the backstory a bit here, that, say, 20 years ago, the prior king was alive. The king prior to this one, right? Mm-hmm. They mentioned that they're a monarchy. And he had 2 sons. And in their culture, it's not automatic that the older one gets the throne. The king has to decide this at a certain age or whatever. Or just before he dies, anyway. So these 2 brothers were rivals, as you might expect. The king eventually dies, and they read his will off, and the elder brother becomes the king, and the younger brother just stays a prince, and they kind of hate each other.
Wait, I've heard this story.
Oh.
And then they have to fight over who gets the gravel pits, so they hire 9 mercenaries to try to kill the other one off. And eventually they construct an immortality machine. No, wait, that's Team Fortress 2. I'm sorry, continue.
I didn't know Team Fortress 2 had a story.
Oh, yeah, they tell the story through comics. It's pretty interesting, actually.
All right.
They even self-admit, yeah, we totally didn't expect this, but it's somehow become the deepest, most involved story we've ever created.
Wow.
Yeah, go check it out.
Okay. So there's 2 kings, and so the king and the prince now exist. Now, when we last saw at the end of season 1, Annie had gone Titan mode and had fricked up the central area, which is supposed to be the most secure place against Titan attacks ever. Now, a whole bunch of people have witnessed this. She stepped on one of their churches. Eren beat her to a pulp, and eventually she went to crystal form, so they couldn't interrogate her. This is people freaking out, right? People are saying, oh god, the king cannot protect us, because everyone got stepped on yesterday.
Well, what do they expect the king to do? Rip off his shirt to reveal that he's Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist and fight them hand to hand?
That would be cool.
This technique of fighting titans has been passed down through the Armstrong family for 20 generations! Okay, now when I start my thing on Attack on Titan, how I would redo it, we have a starting point.
That'd be a starting point. Right, so obviously, there's not much more he could do, but people are going to freak out anyway, and people will say, because we lured Annie into the Central District on purpose, if you remember.
Yeah,
if anyone's heard of that, maybe they'll say, oh, that wasn't so smart. So people are starting to freak out. There's talk of rebellion, and who are the rebels going to rally around? Of course, the prince. They'll say he ought to have been the rightful king. So there's tension brewing, but it's not exactly a war yet. Now, what's her name? The Titan scientist lady who's all creepy but awesome.
Oh, crud. It's been so long I can't remember.
Whatever. Titan scientist lady comes up with this serum, partly to do with researching Annie, I guess, or whatever. It's this Titan serum thing, or it's a serum that you can inject yourself with, and Titans cannot sense you at a distance. so they can see you, and they will eat you if they can see you, right? But if you can stay stealthy, you're protected for a couple of weeks or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then after the first mission and they're all okay, she reveals it was just ordinary saline solution. You had the power to dodge Titans all along.
And then they all get eaten.
Just had to believe.
And then they all get eaten. No. So, okay, so we have this serum now, and we're on the, nearing possible civil war. And then King says, okay, frick it. We're going to send all the best people we have. We're going to give them this serum. You guys go out through the west gate or whatever. Go north. Go find that freaking basement and hope to God there's something useful in there.
And not just born in asbestos.
Because, yeah, that'd be terrible. Because we need something to fight off the Titans. So they head out, and they do some stealth stuff, like, during the night, they can't make a fire, they have to cover themselves in dirt or whatever. And then, of course, sometimes the stealth doesn't work, and they have to fight some Titans, and, a lot of cool action and Bleakness and Badassery. So we finally get all the way up to Aaron's house, and we find Aaron's dad, who's hanging around in the area.
He's just hanging around.
But he's been, wandering the wilderness for years now, right?
Still, I don't know. The idea of him just hanging around the house is like, he's sitting in the kitchen, he's drinking a beer.
Yeah, no.
Hey, guys, what's up with you?
Yeah, no, not so much. He probably tracked
Hey,
them,
Colossal Titan!
He was in the area, he found their tracks.
See the Colossal Titan? Sup, Aaron's dad?
Yeah. So, found Aaron's dad, and he explains, finally, the backstory and where the Titans came from.
Well, it started as an all-white football team, but then they got black guys to play for them.
No, that's a terrible message.
Oh, come on. Remember the Titans rocked.
It was a great movie, but you're trying to say that as soon as they added black guys, they turned into terrible monsters?
No, I'm saying that the team went in a weird direction once steroid abuse became really
common.
I
see. It's the steroids. It's an anti-drug message. No.
Yes, because racism is terrible, and so are drugs.
So I have a big thing that it eventually comes out to roughly a parallel of nuclear weapons, but hopefully cool enough that it's still cool.
Nuclear weapons are cool.
They are cool. All right, so some 100 years ago the Titans showed up, or 150 something. Around that time, the world was dominated by two competing empires. All right, and in one of them there were these two twins. Roughly 30 years old, and they're both brilliant scientists. And they were employed by their empire to find a way to utterly defeat the enemy empire. So they came up with ways to boost humans' abilities and came up with the notion of Titans. You have two types of Titans, the standard Titans and the Morpher Titans. Okay, obviously the standards are the ones that
It's morphin' time!
Yeah, the standards are the ones that walk around just eat people all day long, and the Morphers are people like Annie who can go back and forth and keep their consciousness when they do. So they came up with a truly diabolical plan, which was you can make a virus and it infects people. And then when that virus gets triggered by something called red energy, which is like this light, then it causes a person to morph into a standard Titan.
Unless it's inserted directly into the core of a planet, in which case it causes a black hole that sucks it in.
Right, no, that's red
Poor
matter.
Vulcan! Oh, red matter.
Red matter, man. But matter and energy are convertible, as per Einstein, so...
Curse you! So, wait, this means that this is the backstory of the Star Trek universe.
Oh my gosh!
Yes!
Not going that far. Aww. So, they supply their spies with vials of this virus. And not everyone is vulnerable, by the way, but most people can be carriers, at least. So the spies sneak into the enemy empire, all throughout the empire, just seeding the virus wherever they go, right? And on the other side of the continent, so I can imagine there's one big supercontinent, we're going to build this thing called the Cauldron, which is like this huge multi-paneled thing that just makes this massive red light that shoots up into the sky. And the deal is you shoot it at the moon, and thanks to pseudoscience energy things, it zooms around the moon, comes back, and like engulfs the entire Earth in red energy.
That seems like a very bad and stupid thing to do.
So here's the thing is, the virus has seeded the enemy empire. You turn on red energy, the whole enemy empire is now filled with Titans, right? They don't have to even break through the defenses. Everyone's already behind the defenses. And then, after a couple of weeks go by, you zap the whole thing again with gold energy, which destroys Titan flesh. Remember how they're made of a special sort of matter that isn't as heavy as it should be?
Yeah.
So gold energy just melts that stuff. So then the whole enemy territory will be suddenly unoccupied. They're all dead, basically, and we can just take it out at our leisure. That was the plan.
That seems like a very stupid plan that could have many things going wrong. Like, for example, the virus hopping borders.
Yeah, apparently they just felt it would, whatever. They could, if it hopped the border, it would hop on their side of the border, or hop to the near side of the border and kill a few of their own people, and they were willing to sacrifice it. We have reserves, as the trope goes. Anyway, it is a madman sort of thing, but it's all about this absolute hatred these two empires had for each other, which becomes a symbol for humans' general tendency towards violence, which we're going to get into a bit later. Now, these two twins developed a great rivalry between them. In fact, they came to blows, and one of them thought he had killed the other, right? The other one, his body was never found, actually survived, got a big scar on his face, went to the enemy empire to give them all this technology. And he was so egotistical, he thought he could develop faster than his twin, and that, therefore, they could just kill off all the first empire and suffer no side effects. So eventually what happens is both empires have seeded the other one with the virus, and nobody realizes this. The twin with the scar ends up building the cauldron first. He was actually, faster on that count. And one, moonlit night, and in, this almost ecstasy of fury and conquest and everything, they finally turn it on. He activates the cauldron, and it shoots this energy at the moon, which then wraps around the moon, zaps back at the Earth, envelops the entire Earth, not just the side facing the moon, but the entire Earth gets enveloped in red energy. And I have this great moment with the other twin is like at his base building stuff, and he sees the red energy everywhere, and he just says, "He lives." Realizing his twin is not dead. And then everyone around him starts bursting into Titan form. And then the twin with the scar is like in his moment of victory when everyone around him starts bursting into Titan form. And it's basically a nuclear holocaust, right? We all start dying. Now, Aaron's area was not in either empire. Sort of imagine a third world analog thing. Off to the side. And they happened to be lucky enough that no one had seeded them with the virus. So they freak out and they immediately start building giant walls, which is the best decision anyone has ever made. And as an architectural feature of these walls, they happen to be mostly hollow, because they didn't have enough bricks to fill it all the way in. They said, whatever, we'll make it's hollow, but it still stands as a wall.
Plus, there are some techniques that do say that a honeycombed wall. Honeycomb structures are stronger than regular structures.
Right, because a force of a blow won't echo through the matter quite as rapidly or something like that.
Right. I was more thinking like bridges and stuff, but
yeah.
That works too.
So they start building these giant freaking walls, and they just barely manage to get the wall big enough, and the other Titans, of course, are distracted eating everyone else in the world. So we have these walls built. Now, and both the twins die. Because they, frick them. Now, somewhere in the midst of all this, maybe just before it happened, or certainly by the time, in the aftermath, a cult forms. I'm going to call it the Cult of Gaia. And the cult's idea is that humans are bastards, and we all deserve to die.
I can agree with the first part of that.
And because there's just been a nuclear holocaust, right? And their feeling is that humans inevitably destroy each other. The whole development of the human species was a mistake, so to speak. Their plan is to kill everyone in the world and then commit suicide and leave the Earth back to its own devices and the animals and stuff, and maybe someday a new, more friendly, intelligent species will evolve, and they can have the Earth because we just suck, all right?
I don't like them.
Well, yeah, right, and that I knew you wouldn't like them. That's why they're the villains.
Well, yes, then you've chosen well.
You've chosen well. So the cult starts wandering around, and to some extent they just find individual survivors and slit their throats. But they also recruit people who believe in their ideas, and they find Titan technology. They find the old laboratories, kind of smashed up, but they start piecing things together over the next 100 years. Yeah, and there are a few other colonies that survived besides Aaron's place, but they were smaller, and we conquered them one at a time, and Aaron's is the last human colony. All the rest of them, their throats were all slit, or they were eaten by Titans. There are a few people on an island, for instance. We rode to the island and then kill everyone in the night,
And there are probably a few others that they didn't get to, but they just failed for other reasons, like famine, plague,
Yeah. Stuff
poor
like
economic decisions,
Yeah, that can happen.
fratricidal stupidity.
So now they're gonna do the master stroke. They have this big badass plan to kill Aaron's entire nation all at once. It involves several parts to the plan. Number one, they're gonna get some of their people inside the walls to, like, you know, be a listening ear on the king and to subvert things as necessary. One of those people was Annie, right? Mm-hmm. And she converted to their side because she had just had experienced people being bastards when she was a kid. You know, throw in a backstory there somewhere if you want, and decide, yeah, humans are bastards. Part two of their plan is to develop morphing technology.
Contact Zordon!
So their leaders can morph and, you know, lead the invasion when it happens. Part three, turns out there's a way to grow titans from seeds. This was like in development as of the Holocaust, you know, but they've expanded it more. They plant seeds of, I'm going to call them massive titans. They're a little shorter than colossal titans, right? Mm-hmm. They plant seeds of massive titans inside the hollow areas of the walls. All 3 walls. They do this over decades, right?
And no one notices the giant monsters growing inside of the things.
I guess there are no windows to the inside. All I know is at the end of season 1, they revealed there are massive titans inside the walls. So, okay, we'll do this. And the way it works is they are really freaking thorough with their evil plans, man. They are not going to let even one human being survive. It's like it's a religious thing to them, right? So, at some point, they go to recruit Aaron's dad. Because A, he's a scientist, and he can help them with better technology. And B, his son and adoptive daughter nearly got murdered by freaking rapists when they were kids. So they figure maybe he would be on our side, right? So they bring him in slowly. First they just say, oh, you know, we just generic chemistry, and it's just for the interesting stuff, why not? And over the course of years, they slowly reveal who they are and see if he's on their side. Now, Aaron's dad is very clever. He realizes they're a cult. He realizes that they're evil, but he puts on an act, right? At some point, I want them to do like a secret test of character, but it's an evil test of character to see if he's evil. But he knows he's being tested, so he outwits them and makes them think he's a cultist, you know, and doesn't actually kill that one guy they thought he killed. So Aaron's dad realizes, okay, oh, holy shit, these people are going to destroy the world. I need to stop them. But what can he do? If he just, like, calls bloody murder or something, he knows that there are cultists out there that he doesn't know them personally, right? If he goes to complain to the king, maybe the king's advisor will stab him in the back before he can get the message out or something like that. And then discredit him and say he was a madman, don't believe him, you know, if he ever did manage to say anything. So he figures, okay, I got to be very careful about this. He also knows that these massive titans will take several years more to grow. He's got like 10 years. He figures, okay, I've got plenty of time. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep pretend like I work for them. I'm going to make some advancements for them, but I'm going to go slower than I would normally go, right? Make myself look valuable without really helping all that much. In the meantime, I'm going to try and construct an anti-Titan weapon, which will help us with the standard Titans that are standing around.
It's called a gun.
It's called a gun, but it'll also help us kill off all the leaders and morpher form and things like that, right? Mm-hmm. So he's working on this. Then Aaron, as a kid, comes home that one day. He's excited to join the scout regiment and all this. And Aaron's dad figures, you know what? I should tell him. Because I got to tell somebody in case I die for some reason. And, you know, Aaron is one person I can certainly trust. He's my own son, whatever. I won't tell him everything maybe, but I'll show him the basement. That's what he said. Today I will show you what's in the basement. So then he goes back to the cult for like a cult meeting that day. But the cult figures it out. Like, I don't know if they saw him talking to someone or they read his freaking journal or something. Somehow they realize, holy shit, he's not on our side, right?
Foolish Dr. Jaeger, you should have password encoded your live journal.
Yep. They figure it out. They freak out. He manages to escape, knowing that they know, right? But they're all going, holy crap, he's going to go warn people. He could disrupt the whole plan. So they put their plans into overdrive. The cult leader transforms into the Colossal Titan, right? And then his second in command is the Armored Titan. So they bash through the walls of that one town, whatever it's called. Like, okay, we'll just take the outer ring. We'll just send everyone to take the outer ring, and Standard Titans will eat everybody, and hopefully Aaron's dad will die in the meantime, right? and we'll keep growing all those massive titans and execute that on plan. Now, one of the problems with their Morpher tech is that for the Colossal Titan, there's a huge recharge time, like 5 years, which is why he doesn't just show up like a week later at the second wall and then at the third wall, right? Like, it takes that long to recharge. Annie has an advanced model, and maybe just her biology is better for transforming, so she can transform back and forth easier.
Plus, she's smaller, so maybe if he's that big, to be able to sustain his form for any period of time takes an inordinately long amount of time.
Yeah,
and you want the assault to go off at the same time.
Right, they're very picky about that. So yeah, that's why the Colossal Titan doesn't appear until 5 years later, and even then, like for 1 minute, remember Eren sees him, and then he's going to appear again at the end of the show. So they set off to do all that. So all this time has gone by, and as I said earlier, we've finally gotten to the basement. And I think either, like, the basement is there still, there's like a vault, or maybe the cultists have found the vault and dragged it away, that they were never able to open it. It was just a super science-y energy thing protecting it or something. And we have to go to, like, their home base and invade it and go get inside that vault with that freaking key, yeah? Oh, I forgot to mention, during the attack, right, when everyone's fleeing, Eren's dad meets up with Eren, okay, and doesn't want to stay with him too long because he knows the cultists are on his trail, and he figures, I want one of us to survive at least, but he injects Eren with a Morpher serum. Now, he's been working on this stuff all the time, right? This is the best serum he's ever come up with, the one that he never gave to the cultists. And he only had enough juice for one serum. Now, he had to decide who to give it to. But he realized, of course, that Mikasa is so badass to begin with that he had to give the serum to his weaker child just to even things out. But he gives him the serum, which has the side effect of screwing up his short-term memory, and gives him the key because he thinks he's going to get killed or captured pretty soon. And he goes off into the wilderness. Now, he survives all these years because he's an advanced version of that cloaking serum. So he can, avoid Titans very easily. And I guess he's off in the wilderness and maybe, once in a while slits a cultist's throat or something. And is, I guess, wondering what else to do. I might have to patch that up a little bit. But finally, we meet up with him. And then maybe we have to go to a cultist headquarters, get into their temple, get to the freaking vault thing that they've dragged away. We open it, and he's got this weapon. And it's a Nagata. It's a pole with a cool blade on the top.
Yeah, I know what a Nagata is. I was the one who suggested we use one in the
right. That's part of how I got the idea. It's a Nagata.
Whoa, inspirational!
Yay! It's a Nagata, and when you swing it, it shoots an arc of gold energy along the swing. So you can, like, decapitate a Titan from the ground, all right? Now, Titans can still kill you if they overwhelm you, but it's a powerful weapon.
Or step on you.
Or whatever. But it's powerful. And I want freaking Armin to kill a Titan. Like, the first time anyone uses this, he's just like, yeah! And it freaking kills a Titan. He's like, oh my god! First time I've ever done that.
I don't know, better yet, he throws it. It goes through, like, 3 Titans, and they all just drop dead, even though it was nowhere near the vital spots. And then it flies over the wall. It's like, oh crap, we gotta get that back! And then there's like this big chase scene where all the Titans are trying to scramble over the wall after the Nagata. And all the Scout Legion is like, yeah, let's go faster! Yeah.
That'd be funny. Okay, so then it's okay, we got the Super Anti-Titan weapon, but also we realize that the clock is running out on these massive Titans. They're just about ready to wake up. Holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, Bleakness. So we all rush back to the capital as fast as we can, knowing the massive Titans are about to come out, and civil war is about to break out, and the cultists know about us, and they know they have the Nagata, so they're all going to the central area too. Naginata. To the central air district too. So we're gonna have one freaking massive fight scene. It's gonna be awesome. So we finally get to the center. Civil war breaks out. And just then, the massive Titans all come out. What an epic moment of Bleakness. All the walls crumble and massive Titans come outside of them. Just, holy crap, what kind of universe is this?
Why would this exist?
So it's a massive battle, and Eren transforms to Titan mode and back again several times, and we're using the Nagata, and we're Naginata, and slicing people and whatever. And in the meantime, some of the humans are fighting each other.
And then someone takes the Naginata on the Lewis and Clark expedition so that they can show off how the cinematography has improved.
Yes, they could. That should be on a T-shirt. Put that on the T-shirt. The Nagata on the Lewis and Clark expedition to see how the cinematography is improved. The Naginata. And at some point, someone, maybe Annie, gives a speech, this pleading speech to Eren, like, no, humans are bastards and we have to die because if we survive, we'll just create more misery. We'll kill each other again. More people will suffer. And Eren says, no, you're wrong. Human life has worth and frick the Titans.
No, better. Really? All we can do is cause misery? Then I'll start with you! And then starts the big fight scene.
You could do that.
Plus, it kind of fits in Eren's thing as hot-headed idiot who is willing to do anything to murder the fuck out of the Titans.
Yeah. So, we're fighting, and at one point Eren goes back to human form, and he grabs the Naginata, because, some other elite guy had been using it.
Right.
I did. I turned on my brain for that one. And transforms back into Titan form. The Naginata grows with him because it's made out of that same sort of morphable matter, and they didn't realize this at first, or whatever, or they weren't sure it would work, maybe. But then, even then, he's overwhelmed, and all the massive Titans are just dogpiling him on the biggest dogpile in history. And then he gets the idea. He figures it out, and Mikasa realizes he's figuring it out as he does it, and just for a half second of slow-mo, pleads him not to do it. He grabs the Naginata, and with all his might, he blasts an arc of golden energy at the moon. Which, if you recall, does that thing where it reflects the energy back.
Oh, right, because it's got the Lance of Longinus stuck in it.
Yeah, well, something like that. It does the thing. The red energy comes back. The golden energy does the same thing. It's the same basic thing. So it blasts back. It covers the entire Earth. Every freaking place on Earth where there are Titans, just these arcs of gold start slicing them like freaking pieces of meat or whatever. They'll start melting. And Eren himself is getting sliced up, but he's holding on as he presses more energy into this thing. And it kills all the freaking Titans, and it kills all parts of his Titan form until just him, the human, is left. And he's falling, and he's dead.
Oh, I was going to say he's alive, but fortunately the Naginata is still really big, so he's just clinging to that.
No, I wasn't doing that. Naginata, disintegrated. But he falls. Mikasa catches him and does the whole, what's that statue called? Where Mary is holding Jesus and... Pieta. The Pieta. Anyway, but she's holding him in her arms and crying, and just then,
he wakes up and says, "Do you people ever check for a pulse?"
That's the line we should have come up with for Enemy Mine, if you remember that one scene. But she's holding him, and just then the king appears on one side of this stone courtyard with all his soldiers, and the prince appears on the side of this courtyard with his soldiers.
God damn it! Did we really sleep through this whole thing?
They were there. It just, we were busy.
God damn it! Keep it down, you bastards! I'm trying to sleep.
But she just as they're about to go to war, she screams at them "Stop! This is Eren. He died for you, all of you." And then Armin comes out because he's the good negotiator guy. He talked down General Nam, or tried to anyway, and says something to a similar effect that and talks about the origin of the Titans. This all began in mankind's hatred for other men, right? For people's hatred for each other.
We need to find aliens and hate them
and
instead.
Hate them instead. So, and please, do not make the mistake of our forefathers and whatever. And the king, I imagine, has this spear, and he stares at his brother for one, drops the spear, and the brother
impales him.
No, sheathes his sword. And then, his second in command is about to, run forward. He's like, no, hold this position. And the king and the prince both walk out alone against the courtyard. And both their armies are, kind of yelling, "Wait, no, what are you doing?" And they approach and, they say, "Our father never would have wanted this. And in the name of Eren Yeager, we pledge peace." And they both kneel down to Eren, his corpse being held up by Mikasa. And that is the end of that war. We've killed all the Titans. We've stopped the Civil War, and then we have we see the next 30 years go by, And what happens is, so it used to be there's a bunch of stairs, and there's the throne, the king's throne at top. The throne is removed. They place 2 thrones at the bottom of the stairs to rule as co-regents. At the top of the stairs is a statue of Aaron. Like, it's our symbolic king. We see people, going out into the world and farming and building new cities and colonizing the land and generally living in peace and all that. We see, more statues built of Aaron. I've got a badass one in mind of him with the naginata, just holding it and being awesome. And he's like 30 feet tall, made of stone. And we see one of the cultists, because most of them, the morphers all got killed by the same thing that killed Aaron, because they were in morphing form. And then the human ones either got killed, in the aftermath, or one of them, at least, was taken prisoner. And I want that one to be in a cell somewhere, and Mikasa goes to visit him. And he's, like, chained to the wall, and she informs him of the news, and he's like, it's been 30 years, and there still isn't war? And there's a long pause, and he says, I was wrong. And Mikasa doesn't say anything. She puts a knife in his hand. She walks away. He whispers, thank you. And we just see a spurt of blood exiting through the bars of his cell.
I cut my hand while I was buttering my toast.
No! But that'd be a really cool, suicide scene, because he realizes that he made everything in the world so much worse when he thought he was making it better. And then I would have the final scene of Mikasa and Armin sitting at the base of Aaron's giant statue on this hill, looking out at the world.
Is it of him as a human or is him as a Titan?
I imagined him as a human, because at his core he was a human, right?
Yeah.
Titan was just his weapon. And Mikasa says basically that the sorrow of Aaron's loss will be with her forever. She never really got over it. I don't imagine she would. But when I was young, she says, I felt this was a cruel world, and
I was completely right.
And there was a lot of cruelty, but now I have hope, because not only did they kill the Titans, but they also averted war, and there's been 30 years of peace, and humans can change, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have this final shot as we zoom out from them, and we see Armin and Mikasa and Eren. This is our power trio, and we kind of zoom and we shift around and we see the whole landscape, and we see the full moon with a giant scar down the middle. It's like a permanent monument to the moment when Eren killed the freaking Titans and saved the world.
Eren killed the moon.
And the
Fuck
moon.
you, moon.
And that, I believe, wraps up everything, because not only do we have incredible bleakness about, there's a civil war on top of everything else, and so many things happening at the climax, and the freaking massive Titans coming out of the walls, dear God, right? We also had these mysteries that were eventually solved, and they were solved in a way that reflected on something to do with human character, right? And are humans essentially bastards, or is there hope for us to be a good and peaceful people? And by the end of that, not only do we show, our military capability, which Eren is always going on about we're just going to kill the Titans. But, Eren has a heart, too. When Annie betrays him, he freaks out, right?
Right.
He has that deeper, more nurturing, compassionate side. And what we see here is that, he was violent, but for a purpose. He never got lost in the bloodlust of violence like the forefathers did.
Are you remembering?
Not permanently lost in the bloodlust of violence like our forefathers did.
That's the modifier that you needed to
permanently
say.
lost, who ended up killing the world. He ended up saving the world. And now there is peace. And basically, I think that would do an excellent job of bringing everything together. A few things I need to polish, like what exactly Eren's dad was doing in the wilderness for 10 years. But that would fix so much. Moonshine.
Shitloads of moonshine. He has stills that rival Six Flags in size.
Oh dear.
Well, how else is he bribing the Titans to keep away? Beer. Lots of it. And I was going to say, are we remembering the same Eren? Eren does not have bloodlust. Are we remembering the same Eren that kept biting himself in order to turn into a monster so he could go berserk?
This should be part of that. Remember that speech where someone says humans are bastards? Someone could get to him by saying, look, you are bloodlusting all the time. You are full of it. You can't resist it. And he insists, no, I can. I'll fight for a good reason.
I can stop anytime I want.
I can stop anytime I want. Or whatever. But yeah, this arc feels really satisfying to me. And I've got just all these images in my head that are awesome. Every one of them is awesome. I don't know if this would take, like, we could do this in one season or if it would take two. Because we did a whole lot of fighting in season 1 and not a lot of mystery being solved. And now I'm like, let's just solve all the mysteries. Can I do it in one season? Would that be too much? Maybe it would take 2 seasons or a season and a half. I mean, whatever they want to do and get a weird deal with the TV company or something. But yeah, I like it. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I have my own idea.
What's your own idea?
Okay. The first episode of season 2 airs, and a portal opens up, and Megas XLR falls through, and he claims that the Titans are bastards because A, they are eating all of humanity, B, they force humanity to live in a cage, and C, because of the Titans, no one can watch WrestleMania anymore.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to fire all the missiles at the Titans, and then the day is saved.
Wow.
Also, all of human civilization is decimated because that's how Coop rolls. No, but in all seriousness here. Okay, I like to start at the beginning. So, in this world, it starts off with our world, but with a bit of a difference. It's low fantasy.
Wait, when you say the beginning, you mean like season 1 style beginning? You're changing season 1 now? Backstory. Okay, just backstory.
Okay. So it's not like our world where magic does not exist. Magic exists, but it's really rare.
Okay.
But it can be really powerful. And there's a guy who's been around since pretty much the dawn of man. We'll call him Anubis. And he wants to rule the world. Of course!
Of course! Yeah.
So he sets into motion this Xanatos-like plan where he'll manipulate things. He gathers DNA from one of the few other mythological races out there, the Frost Giants of Norse mythology, and sets about trying to create improved humans.
So it sounds like a combo of magic and science there. He got the DNA from a mythological creature. That could be interesting.
The thing he wanted to do was to create this race of mighty beasts that would do his bidding and allow him to take over the world.
Okay.
But he was also getting human backers and stuff, and he actually started World War III about 50 years in our future. By doing it, so that people would get scared and give him money that would allow him to do these experiments and assemble an army to help them do
Interesting.
Whatever.
Anubis is fundraising, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, so he... Unfortunately, before his plans can come to fruition, it's World War III, and as Einstein said, I know not what weapons World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
So World War III did not involve Titans. It was just like a regular nuclear war or something like that?
Regular nuclear war?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was a nuclear war.
I think we might be a little jaded in terms of science fiction when regular nuclear war is a thing that we say.
Yeah, I just might. Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, there's a nuclear war and most of humanity is wiped out. Asia takes a really heavy blow. A lot of people die there. Most of the human race dies in Asia. Americas aren't really... everywhere pretty much sucks. But okay. I singled out Asia because they said that Mikasa was like the last Asian.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Yeah. Which I did like in the series. It wasn't a way of saying, oh, only the Japanese managed to construct these walls. Which is a thing that they do, that the Japanese tend to do. I mean, we do it in America, too. Yeah. But it's still annoying when only one nation saves the world.
Creative provincialism, yeah.
Anyways, Anubis at this point is pissed because he's alive, but, you know, the world he wants to rule is a radioactive sludge ball.
Crap.
So he begins a magic ritual. So he creates a virus and sets it out to infect all of his followers. And but it gets out further than what he intended. And pretty much everyone in the world is infected. And he begins a dark magic ritual that transforms himself and all of his followers into Titans.
Okay. Is he the Colossal?
No, he's one that appears later. He's
from the manga.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, is somebody bigger than the Colossal?
No.
Oh, okay.
God, no. I think the Square Cube Law would gain manifest physical form and beat the shit out of them. I mean, this ain't Gurren Lagann here.
Yeah. Only Gurren Lagann gets to do that.
At this point, a hole opens up in space-time, and Kamina falls out, piloting Gurren.
God, Gurren is so cool. Everyone go see Gurren Lagann.
Yes, do.
Which is, by the way, if this is bleakness, badassery, and mystery, Gurren Lagann is awesomeness, badassery, and a little bit of mystery. It's just like, there's that badass, we will kill the enemy, and then there's yeah, man, let's kill the enemy. Gurren Lagann's more of that latter version.
Yeah, but anyway, so the Titans go out and start decimating the remains of the human population. Meanwhile, Anubis is constructing his fortress, but he's rapidly running out of energy and time. He's using this energy to keep the Titans under control, and he uses them to build his fortress, a massive 3-ringed, country-sized city-state from where he will control the world. He will send out his forces, use this area to farm lands and raise armies.
I mean, I'm getting the impression that Anubis has a grudge against somebody on another planet, and what he wants is to build this giant thingamajig he needs to go conquer that guy who's on Alpha Centauri or something.
I wasn't thinking of that, but
I was just thinking of that because you already reduced the world to a radioactive magma and whatever. So it's why does he want to rule it? Oh, well, maybe he's totally fine sacrificing the Earth so long as he gets that other thing over there.
Well, okay, a lot of it is people are dead, but...
yeah, all right, whichever way you want.
Hey, he's been doing this for thousands of years. You have a hobby, you kind of got to stick it through to the end.
His ultimate goal is simply to, level all the mountains and make the Earth perfectly flat because he has evil OCD.
Okay.
Not a complaint against real OCD people. We make jokes like that all the time.
Yeah. But anyways, so... So he finishes it up, and he plants giant titans inside of the walls as a surprise in case anyone tries to attack him.
So when did these walls get constructed? I think I skipped that. Was that just after World War III?
Yeah,
Titans came out
I just mentioned he built a 3-ringed.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was his fortress.
Yes.
I just assumed it was a different fortress. Okay, sorry. He built that.
Mankind still has some advanced technology left, so they work together and they attack the city. Using air travel to bypass the walls and land and take over. Using the last remnants of his control, the Anubis orders his Titans to carry him to safety, and they set up another base inside of a mountain or something. I don't know.
So we are currently living inside the enemy's old base.
Well, yeah, because it's really nice inside of here.
Well, yeah, it is. I'm just saying.
Plus, it's got these nice walls. It's pretty radiation-free.
I guess we ran out of aircraft, huh?
We ran out of fuel. It was a nuclear war. Saudi Arabia and all the other oil-producing areas were hitting the first strikes. And plus
so that would be interesting, by the way. If they were doing this as the real story, you would have the whole season 1 goes by and it looks like a low fantasy thing with super mechanical omnidirectional belts, and then at some point we just see the wreckage of a B-52 lying around. And the characters don't even comment on it, and the whole audience is like, wait, when is this happening?
No, the wreckage of B-52! I loved Love Shack, and now we'll never hear it again! B-52 is the name of the band that sang Love Shack.
I figured, yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we're living in his fortress. I mean, I did the same thing in Minecraft. I found the desert fortress in Minecraft, and I just moved into that and made that my main base because, hey, it's already built. It's got stuff inside of here. Let's just move in. As people start learning about the place, more people die because radiation and sickness and stuff, and people forget how to use their advanced technology. Some people still do remember, though, which is why there's a general movement to suppress knowledge of technology by the people who now rule this dead city. It's been a couple decades at this point.
Is that connected to the Church of the Wall, then?
Yes.
Okay.
It is canon that they try to suppress any sort of advanced technology.
Did they mention that in the anime? I remember that they didn't want to arm the walls, but they didn't mention technology in general. I mean, it could be in the manga. I'm just saying.
It's in the manga, sort of, but there's like.
Which, by the way, I've heard in the manga, the church knows there are titans in the walls, and they're keeping it secret. Yeah,
they do.
So, in my version of things, the church is what it appears to be, just delusional, worshipping the walls because they're there, and not evil or a conspiracy at all. Just these people want to worship something. It might as well be the walls. Poor people. All right.
Okay, so eventually the Titans start to come back, and occasionally they do breach through the walls, but it's like minor things. Like one manages to climb over because there's like a really tall tree nearby. And they fight back. They eventually develop the omnidirectional mobility gear to fight the Titans because they realize, this is like the single most dire threat we have to us right now outside of these walls. What they don't realize is that Anubis is starting to recover. The Titans are slowly advancing. They're not... Without his control... I mean, when they were directly under his control, they were more than mindless beasts. They were capable of tactics. They could wield weapons. They were capable of defending themselves. But he realizes that if he does this again, he's probably going to die or wind up as a husk for another 500 years. And he doesn't really want that. So he starts developing, he and some humans, some collaborators, start developing the Titan shifting technology.
Okay, so there were no morphers at that point, or shifters at that point.
No.
Okay, so he invented them. Okay.
He invented them to serve as commanders for the Titans. They'd be able to serve as a way to control the Titans and to rule over the human population. Because, it's pretty easy to be a king when, if anyone dares disrespect you, you just turn into a giant monster and eat them.
Yes, I agree.
Sorry, this is as far as I've gotten.
So, are you making this whole thing up as we go along?
No, I was making it up while you were going along.
Okay, still, I mean, I spent a while by myself coming up with these ideas before I recorded them, and here you are like in half an hour. Okay, Anubis, he had the fortress, we took it from him, airplanes, fuel, anti-tech, Anubis recovering, and then, I mean, does that lead to a climax where he takes control, or his commanders anyway, take control of the Titans and launch an assault?
We're getting there.
What's in the basement, man? What's in the basement?
Dr. Yeager was part of a... Dr. Yeager, they don't mention it until later, but he used to be part of the scouting corps. And he got really lost, and he found a Titan... One of the bases where they were performing experiments on Titan physiology. Okay. To try to create... I mean, and Titans, it's revealed, are the result of human DNA mixed with that of the frost giants, which makes them not frost, but hot, which is why Titans are hot.
Oh, okay.
He also learns that all of humanity has this virus inside of them that makes them capable of turning into Titans.
That would be a good Attack on Titan moment. Oh god, we could all transform.
They're kind of hinting that it goes that way in the manga.
In the manga?
There's like one or two hints. But, that's just my personal interpretation of it. Anyways, so he realizes this and starts to try to create his own Titan shifters. Dr. Yeager is kind of incredibly mind-blowingly brilliant.
Okay.
And he has a lot of these notes, so he stole a whole bunch of notes and left. Meanwhile, Anubis realizes that now is the perfect time to attack. We have the Titan shifters. We have a whole bunch of new human recruits that are now turned into Titans. We're going. And so, first season happens.
Okay. And in the basement, he has his notes and stuff.
Yeah.
Which he has never mentioned to anyone else before?
Well, yeah.
He got them recently?
No, he got them years ago. Oh. It's just that he didn't mention them to anyone because, hey, I think we're all infected with a virus that could turn us into giant flesh-eating monstrosities at any given moment.
True.
Would not exactly go over well. Either they think he's insane or it would cause a panic.
You think maybe he would try and tell the king and get a secret task force to cure the virus going, but yeah, okay. So the attack happens.
Yeah. attack happens. First season happens.
He injects Eren because Mikasa was badass enough already.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that idea. He's just like, Mikasa, I'm going to wait a minute. No, Eren, you need this.
It was more that he only had one dose, and
yeah. Just because.
Although if I want to be really cynical, it's because he wanted to test it out on Eren to make sure that it wouldn't kill Mikasa.
Oh man.
That's if I want to be really cynical.
Yeah.
And then he dies he's murdered by the Cult of the Wall. The Cult of the Wall are human collaborators who work with Anubis, which is why they've been suppressing technology that could potentially hurt the Titans. It's why they prevent anyone from looking inside the walls and seeing that, hey, there are Titans in there.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So, second season rolls around. Anubis is finally up and around after centuries of not moving, and now he looks like a gigantic titan, except he looks like Bigfoot.
Okay, bigger foot.
Which, Titan scale Bigfoot, which is what the Beast Titan actually looks like.
I see.
He starts teaching his followers how to do this ritual that will turn humans into Titans.
All right. Is that it activates the virus, essentially?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's magic.
So. Magic virus. Oh, that's worse than a regular virus. Crap, we're all screwed.
Yep. And that's honestly as far as I've gotten.
Tune in next episode.
Okay,
no.
I
mean, yeah, whatever.
Okay, so Eren...
I mean, you don't have to finish it. You can just
heck yeah, I don't want to leave people in suspense. So they actually head out to the basement, and it succeeds this time. They get all the way to the basement, and they find these notes and reveal, oh god, we could all be Titans at any moment. But it also contains the formula for Eren's Titan serum.
I just realized, in my version, Eren's dad doesn't need to be alive. If he just has a journal in the basement, we could read... The whole reason I had him alive is so he could deliver the backstory. But then just have it make it a journal. He died in the chaos. He got eaten by a Titan or something, maybe. Mm-hmm. That's simple. Okay, go ahead.
Know what? Don't even make it eaten by a Titan. Have him fall off his horse and break his neck.
Have the cultists kill him.
Oh, wait, I did say have the cultists killed him.
Yeah, I know. But in my version, I meant that could work too.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so they go to the basement. They find these notes and the instructions for creating more Titan shifter serum. Not only does the Titan shifter serum make you immune to the Titan virus...
Oh, that's nice. Wait, that's ironic also, and nice.
Well, it means that you aren't turned into a mindless brute.
Right, yeah.
I mean, more mindless than you already are as a Titan, because,
Yeah, permanently mindless.
You know what I'm trying to say here. It also explains the backstory and the plot. Meanwhile, Anubis is starting... So they deliver all the notes to Titan-obsessed girl on the Squad 13 or whatever, and she starts trying to reverse engineer it. The problem is that, one, there's been a lot of casualties, both in the central battle and in the battle getting to the basement and getting all this stuff back. Because Anubis learned about, oh crap, this is what's in the basement, with his spies and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, the Cult of the Wall is all under... They're starting to investigate the Cult of the Wall under the King's orders because, when you're a part of a group that says, don't alter the walls in any way, and then the walls are found to be full of Titans, that's kind of a suspicious thing that you want to investigate.
Yeah.
They find, these guys are trying to kill us all. You should probably not do that.
Yep. That's the way you do it.
So they try... But before they could, the Cult of the Wall all pretty much revolts. And there's, rioting, there's huge damage, blood loss, massive loss of life. But they take many prisoners. So Titan-obsessed girl starts testing the serum on the prisoners that they took. Now, what makes this kind of bleak is that the original serum was meant specifically for Eren.
Oh.
So when they tried mass producing it, and test to see if it's safe for human consumption, all of them die unbelievably horribly.
Drat!
But eventually they do find, certain serums that would work for... They find the way to make it work for other people. So the remaining members of the cadet group that Eren was part of all become Titan shifters, as well as the... What's it called? group with Crazy Girl.
The Scout Regiment?
Yeah.
The Scout Regiment, all
right. They try to make it outside the wall, escorted by like 100 or so members of soldiers or whatever. And they keep getting rebuffed. There's like 3 or 4 attempts to get past it. And Anubis, every time, like a new Titan Shifter shows up. And every time they think they have a new tactic for that, another new Titan Shifter shows up. Eventually it's revealed that the identities of the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan are part of that. And then Anubis shows up. And there's a reason he's a god. Because he just starts throwing around lightning bolts.
Crap.
And he starts beating the shit out of everyone. Armin actually dies.
Oh, that's sad. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. But it's sad.
Yeah, like the commander of the Scouting Legion dies.
Levi? Freaking Sonic the Hedgehog, how dare you?
Yeah, I mean, he goes down hard. I mean, he cuts off...
Yeah, it's good.
He cuts off his arm. He cuts off Anubis' arm.
All right, that's good.
But Anubis is kind of pissed by now.
Having lost an arm, yeah.
Yeah, so he just orders, fuck it, no more of this scheming. All the Titans, we're going in a wedge formation. We're going to hit the walls. We're not stopping until we hit the other side of the fortress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the entire circle, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's pretty much what they do. Rampaging, unstoppable. So they breach the walls. Finally, the last wall is breached. All the Titans inside the walls start activating because Anubis is trying to power them all now. But this leaves him vulnerable. So Eren starts to try to fight them off, but he fails. Mikasa plows through them because she's an absolute fucking beast.
Yep.
Until she reaches Anubis. And she just gets vaporized.
Aww.
Eren turns into his super form that he had when he was fighting
Annie.
And it's an epic final battle, and finally Anubis is defeated once and for all.
You think maybe he would die of grief in the aftermath there?
Yeah, that happens.
I think that would happen. He would totally turn back and just... not in a lame way like the end of episode 3, the robot tells you she's losing the will to live. But in a real just... falls apart. He could physically fall apart, actually, because she's transformed too many times, recently or whatever.
He's transformed too many times, yeah.
And he goes back to human form, and his flesh is coming off, and he doesn't even notice. He's just weeping for Mikasa, and falls apart as people watch.
And even all the Titans that are now inside the wall are stopping, and suddenly they start running around confused. They start attacking each other because it was Anubis' will that held them together and kept them from being, gigantic dicks towards one another. So the humans rally at that point and go, yeah, we can beat him now! I mean, it still costs them a shitload of lives, but, they do finally wipe out the Titans.
I wonder who would narrate the epilogue when the power trio is all dead. And they'd be like,
Crazy Girl!
Crazy Girl! Would narrate it.
Potato Girl!
Potato Girl! Oh god, this would be terrible. I'm just imagining her. You can hear her narration, and you zoom out, and she's actually just talking and also eating a potato. And then they defeated the Titans, and everything was great. And I ate a potato.
Yay,
which would be terrible.
Potatoes!
It would be so terrible, but she was funny for that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good on you for just coming up with all that on the fly.
Thank you.
Boom.
Admittedly, I did crib some parts off of other stuff.
Anubis comes from Stargate, I know that one.
No, actually...
Well, name comes from Stargate.
No, it comes from ancient Egyptian mythology, God of the Dead.
Okay, fine.
But
when's the last time you looked up ancient Egyptian mythology, aside from a connection to Stargate?
Shut up. But the character of Anubis I based kind of off of a combination of Cain from the Command & Conquer Tiberium series, and what's the other one? Oh yeah, Xanatos.
Xanatos, the classic, the author of the Xanatos Gambit. Good guy, a good villain anyway.
Yeah, voiced by Riker.
Yeah.
There was a lot of the Next Generation voices in
Gargoyles?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Like Xanatos' assistant, I think, was voiced by Brent Spiner. Desdemona was voiced by Counselor Troy.
I think I knew that one, yeah. Anyway, we're off topic. So that is 2 different ways to fix Attack on Titan. We always seem to do that with the giant fighting shows. We did that with Ava. I did a thing and you did a thing, and then we did Attack on Titan, me and you. So basically what we're saying is if just check us out from 5 years from now and see if the manga has actually, or the anime, has actually solved any of these mysteries. And if it hasn't, you could be like, they had a perfectly good answer years ago. They should have done that. Or something.
Yep. Anyways, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're signing off.